Higit sa lahat, Attorney Guro, hindi ba dapat unahin ang housing sa Marawi City kesa sa dito?
Wherein we also registered, and we also want to register now and state for the record our vehement objection and opposition to the proposal in its entirety. Why would the US expect us to bend our rules if they are not willing to be flexible in theirs? And that is really a concern of the Department of Education under the Vice President. And of course, aside from that, it's really the security concern. As you know, the schools have been witness to armed conflicts locally. The local terrorist groups is really a concern of the department. And with the presence of Afghans here, if the NSC is saying, or NICA is saying that there's low risk in terms of infiltration, we do worry about them being targets.
So we join with the same position with the DepEd. We vehemently oppose to in its entirety for allowing them to be housed here in the Philippines.
And I'd like to call on Yusek Poa, who also appears to have a different understanding of the same.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, basically, because this has been a subject of consultation with the national government agencies, DepEd being one of
Yes,
them.
that's correct. There are already, as far as this hearing is concerned, 3 meetings of record involving many, many agencies.
Yes, ma'am. Although on the part of DepEd, we were only able to attend one, which was last June 7, wherein we also registered, and we also want to register now and state for the record our vehement objection and opposition to the proposal in its entirety. This has been formalized through, again, as I've said, through our comments submitted to the Anti-Terrorism Council, mainly on legal grounds and on security issues. If I may just quickly summarize.
Yes,
on the
please
legal
do so.
grounds, the department, of course, under the stewardship of the Vice President, Secretary of Education, feels that this will delve into an issue of sovereignty. As we all know, in sovereignty, the exercise of rights and functions of a state must be exclusive from intervention from other states or interference. And in this case, this will include the right to determine who can enter the country and who can stay in the Philippines, whether temporarily or permanently. But in the proposal, at least in the notes that were given to us for comment, it seems that the vetting process will be done by the United States of America. And therefore, this is an interference into our exclusive determination as to who can enter our country. And secondly, of course, as I've mentioned during the June 7 meeting, based on the information given to us, the only reason why the U.S. will not be processing these Afghans in U.S. territories is because some internal rule, law, regulation prohibits them from doing so. And if we may echo what the statement of the chairperson, why would the U.S. expect us to bend our rules if they are not willing to be flexible in theirs? And that is really a concern of the Department of Education under the Vice President. And of course, aside from that, it's really the security concern. As you know, the schools have been witness to armed conflicts locally. The local terrorist groups is really a concern of the department. And with the presence of Afghans here, if the NSC is saying, or NICA is saying that there's low risk in terms of infiltration, we do worry about them being targets because, again, we feel that this might have the risk of further exacerbating an already unstable situation as regards local terrorist groups in some areas in the country. With that, ma'am, I guess we just have to summarize and again state on record our vehement opposition and objection to the proposal in its entirety. And we have again submitted our comments signed by the Vice President to the Secretariat for your perusal.
Thank you very much, Yusek. During the meeting, you were informed that the DepEd would have to educate the families of these Afghan employees of the United States government.
No, ma'am, we did not get to that point.
Why then were you invited?
I think we were invited because DepEd was simply asked to comment by the ATC, the
Not because
Anti-Terrorism
you were going to
Council.
be directly involved.
We haven't gotten to that point. However, during the meeting, we already registered our objection on the proposal. So we didn't really get to the point of where
principle.
DepEd would be participating. Yes.
Yes, without commenting on your direct participation, together curiously with the DOTR, and DOST. I was a little bit perplexed by the assemblage. Attorney Guro, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, we share the same position with DepEd in as much as we welcome the Afghans because they are our brothers and sisters in faith, but with the current discussions ongoing, we are not sure, not really on the protection of our citizen, but for their protection, which might affect also because one factor to be discussed here also, as pointed out by Secretary Teodoro, is the type of accommodations that we have. These are Muslims, so the religious and the cultural sensitivities of these people should be factored in also. So we join with the same position with DepEd. We vehemently oppose to in its entirety for allowing them to be housed here in the Philippines.
Higit sa lahat, Attorney Guro, hindi ba dapat unahin ang housing sa Marawi City kesa sa dito?
We are not particularly concerned about the infiltration or the sleepers among these coming Afghanistan, but more of being a target of an attack. As we all know, just recently, this Wednesday, an incident happened in Marawi again concerning the same group who caused the Marawi siege. So apparently, they're regrouping and they're growing in numbers because of the continuous problems in Marawi that up until now most of these affected by the Marawi siege were not yet they have not returned to their homeland or to their homes. So these are the concerns for the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos because if their mobility will not be limited and even if their mobility will be limited, these people from the south or these sympathizers of the ISIS-inspired group can easily, travel to Luzon. And that is the concern, actually. We agree with the Security Council that as far as the infiltration of, Taliban inspired from this Afghanistan, that is very slim. But for the security concerns of those within the Philippines already, like the sympathizers of these leftist groups,